So they deferred. Yorktown kicks off to Ellick. It's Todd Breeze from his own 10-yard line. 20, 25. Breeze up the middle. He's still on his feet. Breeze up over the 35. Breeze goes to the 38-yard line. That's a 28-yard return in all for Todd Breeze. And he was slowed somewhat around the 30-yard line. Well, with that speed, if he could have broke out into the open, he might have went quite a bit further. Tigers will work it 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line. High school football, sectional number 20, Class AAA on WAXT tonight. As always, my good friend and sidekick Jim Johnson beside me. Tigers going to work it 1st and 10 from around their own 38-yard line, just underway with the ball game. It's Hans, a quarterback, handing off on the misdirection. Slanting off left tackle is Craig Eden. He's up over the 45-yard line, and Eden picks up, we'll call it about 7 yards on the pickup for Craig Eden. And that'll make it 2nd and 3 for the Alexandria Tigers from about their own 46-yard line, almost the 46.
Brought down by number 21, Jason York, John, and we saw Craig Eden the last couple ball games able to run up the middle and do a very good job of it.
And when we get an opportunity, we'll line up that Yorktown defense, Jim Johnson will. Tigers from the pro set formation, 2nd and 3 from their own 46. The handoff goes to King. Brett King runs up over the 50-yard line, down inside Yorktown territory, all the way down to the Yorktown 40-yard line, and that's 4 to midfield, another 10, 14-yard scamper for Brett King, the sophomore. And Brett King, I mentioned he might get the start. He does tonight, and he has his first big carry of the evening of 14 yards.
Finally chased down by number 44, Chad Winkle, also the other linebacker, 46, Brett Lotz.
Yorktown, 52 monster defense. Here's Hans handing off to Eden. He goes off left tackle, and Eden might have picked up a yard. It was tough going for Craig Eden.
Number 73, John Winchester, nose tackle on that tackle. The other 4 up front, number 72, Steve Mosiette, 64, John Pumphrey, also 63, Brad Beard, and number 21, Jason York, John. It'll be 2nd down and 9 now for Alexandria.
Well, we have played less than 2 minutes here in quarter number 1. Alexandria so far moving the ball impressively. They've got it 2nd and 9 on about the, well, looks like about the 39-yard line. Yorktown's got a man in the middle jumping off. That looks like Barr jumped off sides for Yorktown. That's going to cost him 5.
Try John and Yorktown getting a little excited, rounding out that defense now for Yorktown. Your 2 cornerbacks, number 25, Steve Dowford, and number 22, Nick Mitchell. Your free safety tonight, number 24, Jay Winkle, and your strong safety, number 47, Jim Small.
Don't forget Jim King coming up here shortly with an update on the Muncie North and Elwood ball game from Elwood tonight. The winner of that plays the winner of this in the sectional championship next week. Here come the Tigers, 2nd and 4. From about the 34 of Yorktown. The handoff goes to Eden, and he powers his way forward, got his head down, and he's very close to the 1st down yard marker. Looks like Steve Mosiette on the tackle.
Number 72, Steve Mosiette was in there, John. Also number 64, John Pumphrey. 2 juniors starting on the right side of that defensive line, doing an excellent job for Yorktown, too.
Going to be 3rd and inches, Jim. Just shy of a 1st and 10 was Craig Eden as he barreled head first. And Mosiette brought him down, but not before Eden picked up 3 yards. 9 minutes, 36 seconds to play first quarter. We're just underway. First offensive possession of the ball game. Alexandria with the football from the pro set. Tigers hand it off right up the gut, and it's Hans, the ball carrier, on the quarterback keeper. He makes more than enough for a 1st and 10 as he's down inside the Yorktown 30 to about the 26-yard line. So the Tigers will go 1st and 10 from the Yorktown 26.
Number 25, Steve Dowfoot, and number 72, Steve Mosiette in there, John. And that Alexandria offensive line just got down and opened up a nice hole for Hans. Picks up 2 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 now for Alexandria.
Alexandria Tigers will split Dean Moorhead wide to the far side of the field. Tigers from the pro set, pitch back from Hans. It goes to, looks like Brett King, and there's no place for King to go. A great defensive play there for Yorktown, Jason York.
Jason York doing an excellent job getting in there, John. A loss of about 7 yards on that, John.
Boy, I'll tell you.
Like 10 yards, 2nd down and 20 now.
York coming out of no place from that defensive end position, and King no more got the football, and he was stacked up, Jim.
Someone, I believe, forgot to pick him up, John, as he's the right defensive end.
Here come the Alexandria Tigers. They're going to split out Paul Sizlove to the far side of the field. Handoff goes to King, and King dives over the top, but He might have got back to the line of scrimmage at best.
Number 72, Steve Mosiette in there, John. I think there was a mix-up by one of the guards as he tripped over his own player. Picks up about 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 18 now for Alexandria.
Well, the Tigers were moving so effectively, and then a great defensive play by Yorktown has kind of stalled Alexandria. I've got to watch what I'm doing. I got Tigers on both sides of the field tonight, so I'm just going to have to refer to Alec and Yorktown. One thing we knew, we're going to have a Tiger winner and a Tiger loser tonight. 7:52 and a clock rolling down first quarter. Alec going from the I formation this time. Dropping back to pass is Hans. He's under pressure, and Hans is going to be sacked for about a 5-yard loss, and great defensive pressure put on the pass by Yorktown.
They were bringing both those linebackers that time, John. Number 44, Chad Winkle in there, threw Hans for a loss. It'll be about 4th down and 23 now for Alexandria.
Well, Yorktown brought everybody and their brother that last time. Looked like about 4 people all around Hans when he went down. Tigers line the scrimmage on the punt will be the 41 of Yorktown. And we got an official's timeout. Looks like maybe a face mask out there might be a little loose, or a chin strap.
Having problems with some chin straps out there, John. It's 4th and a long 23 with 7:16 to go in this first quarter.
It'll be Waymeyer standing back around his own 46-yard line to punt it away for the Alexandria Tigers. It is a high, kind of lazy lobbing punt, and it's fielded on about the Yorktown 17-yard line by Nick Mitchell, number 22. He doesn't advance it, and Yorktown will start 1st and 10. Looks like right on the 20-yard line.
John, last week we saw Waymar, not a whole lot of length on the punts in the air, but it got some good rolls.
18-yard line, excuse me.
So it'll be 1st and 10 now for Yorktown as we get a first look at their offense. And, of course, G.A. Hudson coming off a strong week last week.
G.A. Hudson set a school record last week, 6 touchdowns. The handoff by J.D. Howard goes to G.A. Hudson, and G.A. finds running very rough in the interior of the Tiger defense for Alec.
Number 72, Jason Reeling in there, John. Also 75, Brad DeRuza in there real quick. And we've seen Alexandria play some good defense this year, and they can do it. 2nd down and 8 now for Yorktown.
6 minutes, 40 seconds to play. First quarter, no score. Yorktown with their first offensive possession after Alexandria moved it as close as a 34 of Yorktown, and then was forced back and had the punt after a couple of good Yorktown defensive plays. Yorktown, it's J.D. Howard rolling back to pass on the far side of the field. It is complete, and looks like about an 8 to 9 yard gain. Matt Riggs on the far side, number 42, with the reception for the Yorktown Tigers. And it is going to be enough for a 1st and 10. They're going to give him enough for the 1st and 10, and Yorktown will have it right at the 30-yard line, their own 30.
Number 11, Derek Thurston, doing a good job out there on defense, John. Just a quick out pass, ran him out of bounds. 1st and 10 now for Yorktown.
6 minutes, 9 seconds, clock rolling down first quarter. From the full house backfield, Yorktown, handoff goes to G.A. Hudson. Hudson up over the 30 to about the 31 or 2, depending on where they put the ball down.
Number 82, Brett Yagi back in there, John. Also number 62, Clarence Burring on the tackle. Pickup of about 2 yards, 2nd down and 8 now from about the 32-yard line.
You know, Clarence Burr was in on 19 tackles last week. He had 4 solos and 15 assists, I believe. Clarence Burr, 19 tackles, what we had him for.
Of course, the leader on defense for this 62 defense, John, for Alexandria.
Tigers of Yorktown with the football. J.D. Howard hands off. Matt Riggs, the ball carrier. And Riggs up to near his own 35-yard line. But it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 5. 3rd and about 5.
Number 51, Greg Clark, one of the inside linebackers on that stop. Pickup of about 3 yards, 3rd and 5 now for Yorktown from the 35-yard line.
Yorktown likes to pass in this situation. J.D. Howard might be looking for number 32, his favorite target. That is Jim Deitch. Deitch has caught 5 TD passes this year and 345 yards in all. Let's see what they do. From the full house backfield, they're going to run it this time. Handoff by J.D. Howard, goes up over right tackle, and Alexandria is going to stop the Yorktown Tigers' Matt Riggs far short of a 1st and 10, and now Yorktown, after their first offensive possession is stalled, they'll be forced to punt. Matt Riggs will be the punter, number 42.
John, number 72, Jason Reeling, the middle guard for Alexandria, made that play. He stood the center up, slid down the line. Also 75, Brad DeRuza just stacked it up in there. 4th and 2 now for Yorktown.
Line of scrimmage on the punt will be the 37 of Yorktown. Riggs back around his own 25 to punt the football away. Kind of high snap. Riggs gets it. End over end. And it hits. Alexandria is going to let it roll. They back away from it. Good Yorktown roll. It's going to go all the way inside the 20 and roll dead at the 16-yard line. It goes from the 37 to the 16, 13 to midfield, and then you tack on another 34, 47-yard punt. 47-yard punt after the roll as the Tigers of Elk let it roll dead at their own 16.
Of course, got a good roll out of that, John, on the first offensive series for Alexandria. Started off well with a couple big 7-yard gain by Eden, also a 14 by Brett King, and then they kind of stalled. But we've seen Alexandria do that this year. They've been their own worst enemy.
3 minutes, 56 seconds to play in quarter number one. Alexandria with their second offensive possession. They're going to work it from their own 16-yard line. Hans pitches back to Derek Thurston. Thurston up to the 20, cuts back in, and he fumbles the football, and it is recovered, I don't know by who. It looks like a couple of Yorktown Tigers very close, and they've got the fumble recovery. It was John Winchester, number 73. Winchester recovered a fumble, but as Thurston turned it upfield after getting across the 20, he really got popped around his own 25-yard line. He got hit, and the ball just popped right up in the air, and Winchester popped on it. Yorktown's got it 1st and 10 from the Alexandria, we'll call it 27-yard line. First turnover of the ball game against the Alexandria Tigers.
And John Thurston was out in the open. He got a good block from Brett King, but the ball just popped loose, and Yorktown recovers.
From the full house backfield, J.D. Howard, the senior quarterback. He fakes the handoff, going back to pass. Guess who he's looking for? And it's Deitch with the football in the end zone. His favorite target is Jim Deitch, and he was able to connect with him. I thought maybe last possession they might go to Deitch on a 3rd and 5, but this time they find Jim Deitch in the end zone. 27-yard pass, a talented receiver, Jim Deitch. That makes 6 touchdowns through the air route for Deitch this season. He averages 15 yards a catch. Here come the Yorktown Tigers to add the extra point. It'll be Brad Stevens to kick the extra point. It's Yorktown 6, Alexandria nothing, 3:20 to play, first quarter. Snap back will go to Small to hold, and Stevens puts a kick up. It is wide to the right side, no good. And with 3:20 to play, first quarter, Yorktown draws first blood.
Shanks the ball off the right side of his foot, John, but I'll tell you what, number 86.
Tigers from their own 40-yard line will have a mini coverage update with Jim King from Elwood on the Muncie North and Elwood game as soon as our next timeout. Breeze for Alexandria from his own 5 to the 20, to the 25, and that's where Breeze will stop at the 25-yard line. That's a 20-yard kickoff return for Todd Breeze with 3:12 to play, first quarter. Alexandria starts 1st and 10 from their own 25. Through the magic of radio, we switch it to Jim King in Elwood, Indiana for the Muncie North Elwood game. Jim, what's going on over there?
With 9 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the first quarter, Elwood scored. It was set up by a 55-yard pass play from John Etchison to Derek Paquin. And then Mr. Noon, the 1,195-yard rusher for Elwood, he took over and finally ran it in from 5 yards out. Elwood came right back, and they were marching downfield. Broke another home run for 57 yards.
Indians into Carmel territory, and
XP stereo 96.7.
2 minutes, 27 seconds to play in the first quarter as we bring it back from the Elwood High School football field. Alexandria very close to a 1st and 10. They're going to say that they managed to make it after Eden carried the football just past the first down yard marker. Here's a score for everyone at about midway through the first quarter. It is Elwood leading the Muncie Northside Titans by a score of 7-0. Elwood on top of Muncie North in the first quarter. Elwood with Chris Noon scoring the first touchdown of the ball game over at Panther Stadium. 2:03, and that's how much time we got remaining first quarter. Mark Hans for Elk hands off. The ball carrier looks like Brett King, the sophomore, picking up about 2 on the carry.
Saw number 44, Chad Winkle, a blitzing linebacker in there. Also 72, Steve Moget, a pickup of about 2 yards, John. 2nd down and 8 now for Alexandria from the 8-yard line.
Here come the Alexandria Tigers, 2nd and 8 from about their own 38. Hans, and he pitches it back to Brett King, and King, with a good second effort as he dives forward, might have earned the Alexandria Tigers another 1st and 10.
Real close to that first down, John. Excellent job by Hans running that option out, bringing the defensive end in, pitches it out to King. He picks up, yes, he does pick up the first down, a pickup of 8 big yards. So it'll be 1st and 10 now for Alexandria from the 45-yard line.
Well, Jim, we got 1:22 to play here in the first quarter, and so far Wayne Spencer, the spotter up here, has done a pretty good job. I haven't seen him miss any. Have you?
No, not so far, John. He's right on it. I think he's got some new glasses, so we're set for tonight.
I think that might be Wayne's new ability to see, those new glasses. Here come the Tigers with the carry, and Jim, there's just not much running room at all. Tigers lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage and maybe gain a half yard.
Craig Eden, the ball carrier, John. We saw him do the bulk of the work last week right up the middle. Number 72, Steve Mojette, was in there. Also 73, John Winchester, and 46, Brett Lotz, that middle linebacker that leads this team of Yorktown. A pickup of about 1 yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9 now.
Well, the clock's in motion. We're under a minute to play in the first quarter, down to 50 seconds. Yorktown 6-0 over Alexandria. 27-yard touchdown pass from J.D. Howard to Jim Deitch. That's where we're at so far in the ball game. Pitch back goes to Brett King, the quick sophomore. He runs outside and gets near the 49 of Alexandria, but still he's going to be far shy of what he needed for a 1st and 10.
Good defensive play by the defensive end 21, Jason York, and also 46, Brett Lotz, John. A pickup of about 2 yards, 3rd down and 7 now for Alexandria from the 49.
Clock's in motion, 18 seconds to play here in quarter number 1. Yorktown capitalizing on an Alexandria fumble at the Tiger 27-yard line. Yorktown, a couple plays later, strike with a 27-yard touchdown pass from Howard to Deitch. And Mark Hans, in all kinds of pressure, going to keep the football and run with it. Hans is going to try to get out of bounds, and he does just over midfield as the first quarter ends. Tigers will start the second quarter with a 4th down situation facing them. After 12 minutes here at Alexandria, it is Yorktown 6, Alexandria nothing. We'll be back after this message.
Before you pre-plan your funeral arrangements, why not be certain they are protected if you should move? Only at Nazi Funeral Home, a Golden Rule funeral home, we guarantee your selections will be carried out as planned, whenever or wherever.
4th and 4, back to punt is Waymeyer, and he kicks it off the side of his foot. Yorktown calling for a fair catch, and they get it right at about the 31 or 32, their own 31 or 32. That's about a 16-yard punt for the Alexandria Tigers. Gary Waymeyer, as he kicked it off the side of his foot.
Number 20, Brad Stevens, the receiver on that, John. He almost fumbled it away but got back on it, so Yorktown will take over now, 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line.
Somebody's put a 1 up on the scoreboard in front of the 0. Now it reads 10-6 Elk instead of 6-0. 11 minutes, 40 seconds remaining first half. Yorktown with the lead and the football. 1st and 10 from their own 32. Handoff goes to G.A. Hudson. Don't let him get outside, fellas. He can run. G.A. Hudson picks up about 14 yards on the carry from his own 32 to the 46. 1st and 10, Yorktown Tigers.
Number 62, Clarence Burr, finally out there. Also number 21, that monster man, Tom Courtney, but picked up 14 big yards for G.A. Hudson. 1st and 10 now from the 47-yard line. Some of the other area teams playing in sectional round number 2, Carmel at Anderson, East Central at Pendleton Heights, Muncie North at Elwood, Frankton at Hagerstown, Madison Grant at Rochester, and Shenandoah at Triton Central. 11 minutes, 9 seconds to play here in the first half from Alexandria. It's Yorktown 6, Alexandria nothing. From the eye, the handoff goes to Matt Riggs. Riggs in the open field. He runs over a couple of Alexandria Tigers as he gets inside the Alexandria 45 down to the Alec 43-yard line. And either one of those backs, Jim, I'm sure you agree with me, for Yorktown, they get a little speed. It's hard to stop them. Sure do, John. They're pretty strong kids, and it's close to a 1st down as they call an official's timeout to measure it. It finally brought down by number 32, Jamie Heiser, who's back after about 3 weeks on the injured list, so it's good to see him back.
Tonight's game is always being brought to you by the fine folks in Alexandria at Peanut Pizza. It's Dave Dyer and the crew at Peanut Pizza, proud backers of the Alexandria Tigers. And boy, Jim, it looks like the nose of football is going to be just enough for the 1st and 10 for Yorktown.
Of course, John Wayne Spencer with those new glasses called that. He said he had it all the way, but 1st and 10 now for Yorktown from the 43-yard line.
10 minutes, 56 seconds to play. First half, Yorktown trying to mount something offensively other than what they have received by charity via an Alec turnover. Here's the handoff to G.A. Hudson. He goes up over left tackle inside the Alec 40 down to the 38-yard line.
Number 82, Brett Yegian on that tackle, John. Also number 72, Jason Reeling in there. Pickup of about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6 now for Alexandria from the 39.
Once again, 7-0, Elwood on top of Muncie North in the first quarter. We have no score in the Hagerstown-Frankton game as of yet. Hopefully Don Lynch will give us something a little bit later on. 10 minutes, 14 seconds to play. First half, Yorktown from the pro set formation with Deitch. And there's the handoff going to G.A. Hudson. He rambles for another Yorktown 1st and 10. He goes from the 39 of Alexandria inside the 30 to what, the 29? About a 10-yard run.
Finally brought down by the safety, number 20, Brandon Allen, but Alexandria taking a chance there, blitzing a couple linebackers. Yorktown picks it up, calls a trap play, and G.A. Hudson rambles for about 11 yards, 1st and 10 now.
Bob Harold, Hoosier Asteria after the game. The local sectional scores from around the area, around the state, and Bob will talk to you about college and pro sports too. Bob Harold, Hoosier Asteria, pigskin style after the game. Dropping back to pass is J.D. Howard. It's complete on the far side to the flanker, Nick Mitchell. Mitchell still on his feet inside the 20. He's wrestled out of bounds on the far side of the field by Ellick, but it's going to be down to about the Ellick 16-yard line possibly. Going to be another 1st and 10 Yorktown.
Finally brought down by number 21, Tom Courtney. Just a quick out pass, and J.D. Howard is now 3 for 3 passing in this first half, John.
9 minutes and 27 seconds, clock rolling down, first half. Yorktown got their only score after Alexandria fumbled it away at their own 27. Yorktown, a couple plays later, strike with a 27-yard touchdown pass. And J.D. Howard handing off in the middle. The ball carrier is G.A. Hudson. Hudson is all the way down inside the 10 to about the 5-yard line, and looks like another 1st and 10. It'll be 1st and goal Yorktown from around the Alexandria 5-yard line.
Number 62, Clarence Burr in there, and also number 21, Tom Courtney. Another 1st down. It's a 1st and goal to go now for Yorktown.
From the full house backfield, here come the Yorktown Tigers. 1st and goal, Tiger 5-yard line. J.D. Howard hands off to G.A. Hudson. J.D. to G.A., and G.A. able to get a yard or so.
Not a whole lot of running room in there, John. Number 72, Jason Reeling was in there. Also number 51, Greg Clark. And number 82, Brett Yegi. Pickup of about 1 yard now. It's 2nd and goal from about the 3-yard line.
Well, they're running. Yorktown is primarily at their left side. They're running at Beard and Mojette. That is where Yorktown has heavily went to so far here in the first half on the ground. Running behind Beard, the guard, Mojette, the tackle. Yorktown with the football. 2nd goal from the Alec 3. Handoff goes to, and I can't tell as they unpile. Looked like possibly Riggs was a ball carrier there. It was. Matt Riggs, a ball carrier. Riggs didn't get in the end zone, but he's awful close to pay dirt.
Number 51, Greg Clark, just keeps him out of that end zone, John. Pickup of about 2 yards. It's about 3rd and they say 1 now, but it's a real short one.
3rd and about a foot for Yorktown to try to put their 2nd score of the first half on the board. 7:39 to play. First half, Yorktown knocking once again on the door. And it's in. Touchdown for G.A. Hudson. 1-yard run, and guess who they ran behind? Number 72, Steve Mojette. And they gain another 6.
Well, John, G.A. Hudson picking up where he left off last week. Of course, 6 touchdowns last week. He's the career leader for attempts carrying the ball in school history at Yorktown, and he came into this game with over 150 attempts. So Yorktown's now up 12-0 as they're going for this extra point.
It'll be Stevens on to add the extra point. Small to hold, high snap. Small gets it down. Stevens gets the kick up. No good. Wide to the right. So the score will remain Yorktown 12, Alexandria nothing. Will be hard on Alex defense, and they've been successful moving it in smaller chunks, but still moving the football. Here's the kickoff. Alexandria, Todd Breeze. Breeze still on his feet, and he is going to be wrestled down at the 30-yard line. Breeze goes from about his 13 to the 30. 17-yard return for Todd Breeze. Alec will work at 1st and 10 from their own 30. And for Alexandria, they need to at least get a score here before halftime, Jim.
Number 50, Troy Hawkins, finally runs Breeze out of bounds, John. And I'll tell you, anytime Todd Breeze gets the ball, it's exciting because he's so darn quick and he's hard to tackle.
Here come the Alexandria Tigers, 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Hans, little pass right across the middle, and it is incomplete. It was intended for Brandon Allen of Alexandria. Allen just never could find the handle as he bobbled it several times before he finally fell to the ground.
He was open across the middle, but like you said, John, bobbled a little bit and just couldn't get the handle on number 47. Jim Small came up there and put a hit on him and broke it up, and incomplete pass. 1st and 10 now for Alexandria from the 30.
Tigers like that little pop pass, a little slant pass. We've seen that several times out of Fred Avant this year and years past. Tigers working from the I formation, 2nd and 10, their own 30. Hans back to pass. Statue of Liberty play maybe. Brett King with the football, and he's going to be wrestled out of bounds at about the 35. Looked like a reverse there for Brett King.
A lot of running there, John. Pickup of only about 3 yards. Number 22, Nick Mitchell, the cornerback out here on the right side, doing an excellent job of staying home, and pickup of 3 yards. 3rd down and 7 now.
Well, Alexandria, very successful passing the ball in the latter part of the game last week against Wabash. Successful enough to win the game and be here tonight. Let's see if they go to the air and look for either Brandon Allen or Todd Breeze. 6 minutes and 32 seconds to play, first half. We've got a 12-0 score. Yorktown on top. Hans back to pass, and a reverse this time to King. King is up to the 40, and he's going to make it for a 1st and 10 as he dives forward to the 43-yard line. And once again, we see that reverse play by Brett King as Hans goes back, fakes the pass, and hands off on the reverse to Brett King.
Executed much better that time, John. Number 68, Chad Dyer, one of the guards, got out there, picked off that trailing guy coming up behind him. King gets out in the open, picks up about 9 yards. 1st and 10 now from the 43-yard line.
Was an excellent block by Chad Dyer to free Brett King. 6 minutes, 2 seconds, clock moving down here in the first half. Hans hands off up the middle. Looks like Eden's the ball carrier. Craig Eden.
Well, John, just about any time Alexandria runs up the middle, you can count on it being Craig Eden. In there for the tackle is 73, John Winchester. Pickup of about 6 yards on that, John.
Alexandria took that opening kickoff and marched it down the field, got fairly deep in Yorktown territory, and then a couple good defensive plays by Yorktown forced Alec back, and since then, Alexandria's been pretty quiet. 5:25 to play, first half. Tigers, pro set formation, 2nd and 4 from about their own 47. Looks like Yorktown jumped offside.
Number 64, John Pumphrey, a defensive end, got a little bit excited there, John, and jumped offside, so that's going to help Alexandria out. It'll be a 1st down for Alexandria.
Well, looking at the series between Alexandria and Yorktown, Alexandria won 3 of the 5 meetings between 1978 and 1982. Yorktown claimed the first 22-0 and the last 20-14 in between. Alec won 6-0, 10-7 in overtime, and 6-0 again. 5 minutes, 19 seconds to play first half. Alexandria 1st and 10 from about the 47 of Yorktown. Hans hands off to Brett King, and boy, Brett King got nailed after picking up a couple.
Mid hard in there, John, by number 46, Brett Lotz, at inside linebacker for Yorktown. Quality ball player.
He is. I like that Lotz kid. He is hard-nosed as they come. I mean, he'll just stand you up and pop you. 4 minutes, 50 seconds to play in the first half. Alexandria 2nd and 7 from about the Yorktown 45-yard line. The football just inside the 45-yard stripe. Yorktown side of the field. Here's Alexandria. A little quick pop pass across the middle to Brandon Allen. It's complete. There's a fumble. And they say no, it was incomplete pass. And it looks like for Alec, that's a good break because Yorktown's got the fumble recovery if it's a complete pass.
Well, John, just like you were talking about a while ago, Fred Avant likes that little pop pass across the middle. That's twice that he's been opened.
No, it's incomplete. I thought maybe there's a penalty out there, but they just say incomplete pass.
So it'll be 3rd down and 7 now for Alexandria from the 45-yard line.
We have 4 minutes and 30 seconds to play. First half here from Alexandria Monroe High School. It is Alexandria trailing Yorktown 12-0. Tigers have it 3rd and 45 of Yorktown. From the eye, it's Hans keeping the football, pitching back to King. King still on his feet, goes forward, and boy, I believe King's got another 1st and 10. I like the way this sophomore runs.
Excellent job of running, John. Also an excellent block by number 21, Tom Courtney, who got the cornerback Mitchell tied up out there and gives King enough room to pick up that 1st down.
Well, Jim, I had a chance to attend the Alexandria Tiger breakfast, their spirit breakfast yesterday, and we're going to hear from a couple of their seniors here at halftime about this big game, maybe their final big game.
I'm sure they were real fired up for this ball game, John, after last week's game.
4 minutes, 5 seconds to play. First half, pitch back by Hans goes to Brett King. King is going to be wrestled down right at the line of scrimmage, it looks like.
Number 64, John Pumphrey, the defensive end. John doesn't go for the fake, and loss of about a half a yard on that
time. And we have 7 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in the first half. Once again, Jim King returning you to WAXT, the best in country, stereo 96.7.
Well, while we were visiting Elwood Community High School and Panther Stadium, Alexandria runs a screen play to Brett King, and King picks up a few yards, but still he's going to be about 3rd and a long 4 away from a 1st and 10.
Picked up about 6 yards on that screen pass, John, and it'll be 3rd and 4, like you said, with 3:23 to go in this first half.
Hans got his head in the game. He's got a good arm for a sophomore, but I think the one thing he lacks is that foot speed, getting away from the center. 3 minutes, 13 seconds to play first half. Alexandria, a little pass across the middle, interception. Yorktown with the football on the far side of the field. The Yorktown Tigers pick it off. And for Yorktown, it was Shannon Lawrence, number 35, making the interception. Tigers of Alec Gamble try to pass it into some congestion. Jason York, number 21, deflected the football right into his teammate's arms. Shannon Lawrence, number 35. And Alexandria will turn it over to Yorktown for the 2nd time in the first half.
You're right, John. 2nd turnover. A lot of Yorktown players in there, and Brandon Allen did not have a chance. York deflected it, and Lawrence picks it up.
Down to 2 minutes and 50 seconds to play. First half, Yorktown with the football and a 12-0 lead. Back to pass, J.D. Howard. That is a wobbler as it goes out of bounds when the assistant coach is able to make the reception for Yorktown on the far side of the field.
J.D. Howard just seeing no one was open, John, and just threw that out of bounds to get it so nothing bad would happen with only 2:44 to go in this first half. They don't want anything that deep in their own territory, to an interception or anything, to turn it over to Alexandria.
In this sectional number 20, the other semifinal match, Muncie North at Elwood tonight. Elwood's on top 7-0, second quarter. Here in the second quarter, it is Yorktown 12, Alec 0. Dropping back to pass, J.D. Howard got a man open. That's Mitchell, the flanker on the far side of the field. Mitchell is brought out of bounds at his own 32, and it's another Yorktown 1st and 10.
Just out into the flat there, John, a little swing out pass, picks up about 11 yards. J.D. Howard is now 4 of 5 on this evening in the first half. Just enough passing, John, to keep him honest and open up that running game. And we've seen G.A. Hudson and Matt Riggs basically running it well in the second quarter.
And they're doing a lot of that running behind the left guard and left tackle. 2 minutes, 38 seconds to play. First half, Yorktown, 1st and 10, their own 32-yard line. Pro set backfield behind the quarterback, J.D. Howard. Howard drops straight back in the pocket to pass, looks on the far side of the field. There's Riggs. It's complete. Riggs at the 35 and muscles his way up to the 40. And he's going to be about a yard shy of another Yorktown 1st and 10. Yorktown still, Jim, got plenty of time to do something. here in the first half.
Number 62, Clarence Burr out there on that tackle in the flat, John. Just not quite quick enough to cover that flat. A pickup of about 8 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 2 now.
2 minutes, 10 seconds, clock running down here in the first half. 2nd and 1, Yorktown. They need to go to about their own 42. It's Howard dropping back to pass on 2nd and 1, and nearly intercepted by Greg Clark of Alexandria. Risque play right there, risque.
A lot of red shirts out there, John. 3 red shirts and only 1 white shirt, and like you said, Yorktown got out lucky there.
Well, on 2nd and 1, you think you just maybe go for that yard, get the first down, and then pass the next time. But on 2nd and 1, they go to a pass. And Ellick nearly benefited from it. Minute 56 remaining, first half. Yorktown 12-0 over Alexandria. Handoff goes to G.A. Hudson, and Hudson powers his way once again over the left side over Steve Mosiette and Brad Beard. And they pick up enough for the 1st and 10. Yorktown wants a timeout. Minute 51 to play, first half. For broadcast tonight, also on our sister station WHBU, we'll have Hoosier Hysteria simulcast this evening with all the latest sectional scores from around the area and the state with Bob Harold. J.D. Howard back to pass, looking long downfield. There's Deitch. Deitch has got it. Goodbye. He's gone. I don't see any yellow flags out there. Deitch with another touchdown, and Jim Deitch making a beautiful reception as that one for the Yorktown Tigers covers 54, about 54-yard touchdown strike. 54 yards for the Yorktown Tigers. It goes Howard to Deitch.
John, I think Deitch just has a magnet in his hands or something, because he sure does attract that ball. It was right on the money from J.D. Howard, and a big 54-yard touchdown reception for Deitch with 1:42 to go in this first half.
And Stevens on to add the extra point. And this one, good. Well, they had to take a long time to decide. Well, finally, Stevens gets an extra point.
An example of that was last week.
Well, Alexandria was only down 7-zip at halftime last week. Now they're down 19-zip with 1:42 to play. Stevens kicks off, and it's Breeze from his own 10 to the 20. He runs up to about the 24, and that's where he'll end it. 14-yard return for Todd Breeze. Alec 1st and 10 from their own 24-25, looks like.
And once again, John, the excellent team's doing a good job for Yorktown. Number 50, Troy Hawkins down there on the stop. Yorktown now starts on defense. Alexandria on offense. 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line with 1:33 to go in this first half.
Deceivingly quick is Jim Deitch, one of the finer receivers we've seen so far in our broadcast for a high school player. He's got 2 touchdowns so far tonight. Came in here with 5. Back to pass is Hans for Alexandria. He had a man open, but pass a little bit overthrown to Brandon Allen along the far sidelines in front of the Yorktown bench.
A lot of pressure being put on by that Yorktown defense, John. Number 60, Joe Barr was in there real quick for Yorktown. Also a couple of the linebackers. So incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10 now for Alexandria.
Tonight's game being brought to you, as all season long, by the fine people at Lamco Federal Credit Union, Anderson, Gas City, Hartford City. 1:15 to play, first half, and the numbers read 19-0 Yorktown over Alexandria. Tigers with the football, 2nd and 10. Hans on the quarterback keeper is going to keep it, spin and turn, and he might end up very close to the first down yardage he needed. He needed 10.
Hans not real sure what he wants to do with the ball there. Almost got his head taken off by Steve Dowfoot, but ducked under it, and it's going to be close to the first down, John. He called an official's timeout to measure it.
And it's still going to be a little bit shy. 1:02 to play in the first half, and the official says get the clock rolling again. We're down under a minute to play. Yorktown in a pretty good position now. They lead at 19-0 with 50 seconds clock running down first half. It's been all the Yorktown Tigers. Alexandria's committed 2 turnovers. 1 resulted in a Yorktown touchdown. Tigers push it forward, and Hans with the quarterback sneak picks up the 1st and 10. They've got 40 seconds to play here in the first half. And still time to strike. You know, Alexandria's had the ball in Yorktown territory twice, but not able to move much inside that 30-yard line of Yorktown. Turnovers have hurt him, definitely.
Brett Lotz was in there on that stop, John, that quarterback sneak. 1st and 10 now for Alexandria.
Maybe time for 2 more plays. 23 seconds, Tigers 1st and 10. Pitch back goes to Brett King. King running to the far side of the field is up over his own 45 to about the 47. Clock still running. 13, 12 seconds. Timeout Ellick, 12 seconds, first half remaining. 19-0 Yorktown. We'll be back after this message. Make sure everything just keeps trotting along. At halftime, though, Jim, we will have updates from the Frankton-Hagerstown playoff game and Elwood and Muncie North. Hans back to pass for Ellick. A timing pattern incomplete. It was intended for Brett King with 8 seconds to go first half. The Alexandria Tigers will have 1 more shot at it.
Number 73, John Winchester, middle guard, put a lot of pressure on Hans. John had to unload it, and no one out there, but did get it the pass off. 3rd and 6 now for Alexandria.
8 seconds. Tigers of Ellick have moved the ball well. They turned it over here in the second quarter when they got down to about the 30-yard line on an interception to Yorktown. And then they moved the ball well in their opening drive, and they were forced back by a couple of great Yorktown defensive plays, had to punt it away. Tigers have had Yorktown penetration. Draw play, not going to go anyplace. 3, 2, 1. That's going to do it for the first half. And it's a commanding Yorktown Tiger lead of 19-0 over Alexandria. We'll be back after these messages to recap the knocked him out of bounds, he says. Steve Dick, sports writer.
We've seen Yorktown play 3 or 4 times this year, and we know Yorktown's not a real good third quarter ball club. They're second and a fourth quarter, so Alexandria come back out here, get a little something put together. They can be back in this ball game, get a couple quick scores.
DeRuzzi for Alexandria to kick off. It is a onside kick. Who's got it? They're piled up, and Yorktown's got it. Number 40 at the bottom of the pile. That is Greg Crabtree recovering the onside kick for Yorktown.
Crabtree, I think maybe Doug Denny might have suspected that, because number 40, Crabtree, not the usual man that is in there in the middle for the kickoff return club, and recovers the ball for Yorktown. They've got it in excellent field position now. 11:54 to go in this third quarter.
11 minutes, 50 seconds, as Jim said, remaining here in the third quarter. We're just underway, 19-0 Yorktown with the lead and the football to start the second half. Yorktown just over the 50-yard line. J.D. Howard hands up to the running back coming across the middle. That's G.A. Hudson, and Hudson picks up, we'll give him 2 yards on the carry.
Number 62, Clarence Burring in there on that stop, John. Pick up of 2 yards, 2nd down and 8 now for Yorktown from the 46-yard line.
2nd and 8 for Yorktown. Of course, in the first half, they ran behind the left guard and left tackle primarily when they were moving the ball on the ground. When they went to the air, it was to Jim Deitch. Deitch has 2 of the 3 Yorktown touchdowns so far in the ball game. Here come the Yorktown Tigers from the I formation with the slot back. The handoff goes to G.A. Hudson. And nope, it was Riggs, the ball carrier. Excuse me, Riggs up to about the 41 of Alexandria. Make it about 3rd and a long 3 for Yorktown. They need to go down to the Tiger 38 to pick up another 1st and 10.
John Riggs, a real strong kid, carried Jason Reeling a few yards there, as Reeling 6'1", 260. So 3rd and 3 now for Yorktown.
10 minutes, 28 seconds to play, third quarter. With the slot back in the I formation, here come the Yorktown Tigers. Deitch to the far left-hand side of the field. Pitch back for Yorktown to, looks like Riggs, the ball carrier this time. Riggs, boy, Jim, if he got back to the line of scrimmage, he's lucky there, as the Tigers of Ellick did a good job on defense.
Nowhere to go for him, John. Number 51, Clark was in there, Reeling was in there, Dyer was in there, Burr was in there. We can keep going on. Excellent job. Also, Brett Yegi in there, Jamie Heiser, so excellent job. It'll be 4th down and 6, as he lost about 3 yards on that, John.
4th and 6 for Yorktown. They're going to have to punt it away from the Alexandria 43-yard line. It'll be Matt Riggs standing back at his own 44-yard line to boot it away to Breeze and Thurston for Alexandria. It's a fake punt. The snap goes to Brett Lotz, and Lotz is very close to a 1st and 10. A fake punt. They snapped it to the up man, Brett Lotz, who is used quite a bit in the backfield as a halfback. And it's not going to be enough for Yorktown 1st and 10, as Alexandria able in time to recover and stop Lotz from making a 1st down after that fake punt snap to the blocking back. And Greg Clark of Ellick, number 51, did an excellent job where Lotz has got a 1st and 10. Yorktown still has the football.
Clark did an excellent job, like you said, John. 1st and 10 now for Alexandria from the 40.
From the pro set formation, here come the Alexandria Tigers. It's Hans handing off to the first back through. That's a sophomore, Brett King. Brett King with the football goes off right tackle, and King picks up, what do you say, Jim, about 3 yards?
Pick up about 3 yards, John. In on the tackle for Yorktown was number 25, Steve Dalfoot. Pick up of 3, 2nd down and 7 now for Alexandria.
Alexandria have been able to move the ball effectively, but turnovers have certainly been costly, as on their 2nd possession they fumbled it away to Yorktown. Yorktown then 2 plays later scores on a 27-yard touchdown pass. J.D. Howard to Jim Deitch. Here come the Alexandria Tigers. It is a running play right up the gut for Alexandria. They go up over their own 45 to about the 46. About a 2-yard gain for Alexandria there. Craig Eden was the ball carrier.
Number 46, Brett Lotz in there, that linebacker, John. He's another hard-nosed kid for Yorktown. Pickup of about 3 on that, John. 3rd down and 4.
8 minutes and 16 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And it's 19-0 Yorktown. Alexandria with the football. It's a quarterback keeper on the quarterback option. Hans, the ball carrier, and Hans, well, Jim, it's going to be close to a 1st down, and looks like Hans is shaken up on the play.
He is shaken up on that play, John, and we have an official's timeout. Give the credit on that defensive play to number 22. That's true, John.
7 minutes and 56 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Alexandria from the I formation with Chad Phipps, the quarterback, on the keeper, and 6'5" gets him the 1st down and more as he keeps it.
It'll pick up about 3 yards there, John, and a pretty good way to start out a quarterback that hadn't been in the game for, a few weeks. Coach Avan said, go in there, just sneak it up the middle, picks up 3 yards, 2nd down and 7 now for Alexandria.
On the 1st and 10, I meant to say, 3-yard gain for Chad Phipps. 2nd and 7, Alexandria from, boy, it looks like about the 46 of Yorktown. Phipps, the junior quarterback, with the eye behind him. And Phipps is going to keep the football, pitch it back to Brett King, and King just lost his footing as he falls short of the line of scrimmage.
Give the tackle to the turf on that one, John, but number 25, Steve Dalfoot, was out there, and King picks up, loses about a yard, John. It'll be 3rd down and 8 now.
Well, we might see Mr. Chad Phipps air it out here. We know he's got the arm. We've seen a game this year, 2nd game of the year for Ellick against Madison Grant. Phipps looked like he was just going to be the starting quarterback all year long, as he had 2 touchdown passes that evening, and he had 2 40-plus strikes to Brandon Allen. 2 46 and 48-yard passes complete to Brandon Allen, and then he just kind of faded in the woodwork, so to speak. Here is Phipps back to pass. It's complete to Eden, and he pays the price. He pays the price dearly right in front of the Yorktown bench.
Number 25, Steve Dalfoot over there, John, and like you said, as soon as he caught that ball, Dalfoot put the hit on him, and a gain of no yards on that pass play. 4th down and 8 now for Alexandria.
Don't forget, we've got IU football against the Iowa Hawkeyes on your Indiana Hoosier Connection, WAXT, tomorrow afternoon. And Jim, our airtime.
12:05 from Iowa City with Big Don Fisher bringing you all the play-by-play.
Tigers to punt from the Yorktown 49. It's Waymeyer high. End-over-end kick, and it's misplayed by Nick Mitchell. He has to retreat all the way to his 11-yard line. Mitchell tried to make a clean catch. It went through his arms, and Mitchell wisely just pounced on it. Good presence of mind by Mitchell there, just to pounce on the football and not try to pick it up and run with it.
I think Mitchell was surprised. He was going to have a lot of time to run with the ball. Might have looked down for a second or two and fumbled the ball. But like you said, good presence of mind to get back on that ball. Yorktown now starting deep in their own territory. 1st and 10 from, I believe, about the 11-yard line, John.
6 minutes, 7 seconds to play. Third quarter, Yorktown with the football. 1st and 10, their own 11-yard line. Pro set formation behind Howard. Howard gets the handoff over to G.A. Hudson. And Hudson goes off left tackle, but not much running room this time for Mr. Hudson.
Excellent defensive play by number 75, Brad DeRuza. Trips him up, John, and a loss of about, a yard, so it'll be 2nd down and 11 now.
Yards. And his big receiver tonight has been Derek Paquin, who took one for 55 yards and also one for 32 yards to set up two of the touchdowns. On the other side, for Muncie North side, I have their big rusher as Todd Pryor with 31 yards, and they only have a net total of 33 yards rushing. And on the night passing, Brad Hart's had kind of a rough night. He's only 4 of 9 for 45 yards. And that's about it. We're waiting the kickoff for the second half. This is Jim King from Elwood. The score remains 19-0. Back to WAXT Stereo 96.7.
Well, as we bring it back to Alexandria Monroe High School, it's 3rd and 3 for the Yorktown Tigers from about their own 16, 17-yard line. Looks like about the 17-yard line. 4 minutes, 55 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Yorktown with a 19-0 lead. Mitchell in motion to the far side of the field. Howard back to pass. Looks downfield. You know who he's going for? Deitch. There's Deitch. He's got it again.
Pass is completed.
Deitch has got it again, and he continues to impress me, but we might see this one come back. We've got a yellow flag back down here in the Yorktown offensive backfield. We might see this one come all the way back because of a holding call as Deitch makes his 3rd great catch, but this will be nullified because of a Yorktown holding penalty.
And John, the Alexandria defenders have got to be shaking their head. They had 3 defenders on him that time, and he still came down with the ball. Excellent defense by Alexandria, but the penalty brings it back.
34-yard pass completion nullified because of a holding penalty. So Deitch looked like he had his 3rd big catch of the night. His first 2 went for touchdowns. The first one was a 27-yard touchdown, and then the next one was a 54-yard touchdown, Howard to Deitch. And that connection has worked very well for the Yorktown Tigers. And Jim King reports that it is still 19-0, Elwood on top of Muncie North. And that is still at halftime as they're awaiting the second half kickoff. Muncie North trails to Elwood 19-0, still at half. 3rd and 12 for the Yorktown Tigers, way back at their own 9-yard line. And on the reverse, flanker reverse, it's Mitchell, and he dives forward across the 10 to about the 13-yard line.
Carries the ball.
It's on number 51, Greg Clark, but Mitchell lost his footing on that on the reverse. Did pick up about 5 yards on that, John, so it'll be 4th down and 8 now for Yorktown.
4th down and 8, and Yorktown will be forced to punt back around their own goal line. It'll be Matt Riggs, the 5'11", 180-pound junior, will be standing back very close to his own 1-yard line. 3 minutes, 53 seconds to play in the third quarter. Yorktown punting from their own 13. And Riggs, nice high punt. And with the football is Derek Thurston for Alexandria, inside to 40, 35, still on his feet. And Alexandria will have their best field position of the evening to start out on offense.
Gutsy play by Derek Thurston, John. 2 Yorktown defenders right down there in his face. Still caught the ball. Nice gain on that also. And like you said, it'll be 1st and 10 now for Alexandria for the best field position they've had all evening. Chad Phipps comes back out onto the field to direct the Alexandria offense.
Well, let's see what the Alexandria Tigers do with it. They have it 1st and 10 from the Yorktown 31. Chad Phipps now in the lineup for the injured Mark Hans. Phipps on a 2nd offensive series as quarterback tonight, hands off to Eden. Eden pounds his way 5 yards forward, and the Tigers have never been this close in the ball game as they got to the 30 twice. Once they was turned back because of 2 great defensive Yorktown plays and forced a punt on their opening possession. And Jim, the other time we all know what happened, an interception.
Number 35, Shannon Lawrence, one of the linebackers in on that tackle. 2nd and 4 now.
Tigers, the 2nd and 4. Phipps hands off to Eden. Eden still on his feet, down inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. And Alexandria giving their fans something to cheer about, something they have lacked this evening.
Have a 1st and 10.
Pickup of about 8 yards on that for Eden, John, and nice hole there by the Alexandria offensive line for him to run through now. 1st and 10 now from the 14.
Tigers will split Gary Waymeyer, number 86, wide to the far side of the field. Pro set formation with Phipps the quarterback. Phipps hands off to Eden. Eden down to around the 11.
Number 73, John Winchester in there, John, on that tackle, tripping him up. A pickup of about 3 yards on that. It'll be 2nd down and 7 now for Alexandria.
For Yorktown.
2 minutes and 14 seconds to play, 3rd quarter. Alexandria's deepest penetration of the evening. They're at the Yorktown almost 10-yard line, 2nd and 7. Alexandria can get another 1st and 10 at the Yorktown 3 before scoring. From the pro set formation, Phipps the quarterback, the 6'5 junior calling out the signals. And here come Lotz blitzing through the middle, but the handoff goes to Eden. He dives forward and maybe picks up a yard.
Number 22, Nick Mitchell, that cornerback for Yorktown, has been doing an excellent job out there all evening on those open field tackles. Another big play by him. Pickup of about 2 yards, like you said, John. Will be 3rd and 5 now for Alexandria.
Clock in motion, down to 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Alexandria Tigers face with a 3rd and 5. Remember the 3rd and 5 last time Alexandria had it. They got a touchdown in the waning seconds against Wabash last week. Let's see what they do here. From the eye, it's Phipps the quarterback. Trying to set up a pop pass. He's in the grasp and now thrown down. The Tigers' offensive pass blocking just completely broke apart as Yorktown was able to wrestle Phipps to the ground before he could release the pigskin.
Number 60, Joe Barr in there real quick. John lining up that middle guard position, gets in there, sacks the quarterback, so it'll be 4th down and 9 now for Alexandria.
Well, the Tigers of Alexandria faced with a 4th and 5. They have not scored this evening. It's been all Yorktown to this point with only 45 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter. Here's the situation. 4th and we'll call it 9 for Alexandria from the Yorktown 14. Phipps in the I formation calling out the signals. Comes back up out of the center, looks downfield. He's got Brett King, but it's deflected away by Nick Mitchell, and also in the general vicinity was Lawrence, Shannon Lawrence, who made an interception earlier, and Yorktown holds the Alexandria Tigers at bay. And now Yorktown will get the football back, and that certainly does nothing but build the confidence of the Yorktown Tigers as they're able to stop Alexandria at their own 14-yard line.
Well, John, this Yorktown defense has done an excellent job all year, and we saw them in a couple games that they just got tougher as the game wore on, stopped Alexandria there. 1st and 10 now from about the 12-yard line, John.
29 seconds to play, 3rd quarter. The handoff goes right over left tackle. Not much running room, maybe a couple yards for the Yorktown Tigers. On the carry was G.A. Hudson.
Number 68, Chad Dyer. Number 72, Jason Reeling in there on the tackle. A pickup of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 now for Alexandria from the 16.
Down to 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. They're not going to get the last play of the 3rd quarter off. And we have played 3 quarters of football at Alexandria, and it's Yorktown 19, Alexandria nothing.
A 16-yard carry. The extra point was no good, and Hagerstown led 20-0. Then with 18 seconds to go in the half, Frankton had its lone bright moment as Dave McPherson, quarterback, completed a 43-yard pass to Lee Gray, making the score at halftime Hagerstown 20 and Frankton 6. This is Don Lynch for WAXT at Hagerstown, and I'll be back later to give you the wrap-up.
Well, the Big O, Otis Crest, has had his troubles, Jim Johnson, every time he goes down to Hagerstown. Right now at halftime is Hagerstown 28, Frankton 6. That's at Hagerstown. As we bring it back here, we've had one play. It was Matt Riggs carrying the football for Yorktown. And now it's 3rd and 4, Yorktown from their own 19. They need to go up to just past the 23, almost to 24. From the pro set formation, Yorktown has a man in motion. That's Mitchell. And the handoff goes to Matt Riggs. Riggs coming around the right end, and the Tigers have some good D there. Yellow flag on the field.
Yeah, John, it's not one of those yellow towels either that we always get mixed up when we're here with Alexandria. That's an official's flag.
Allen also in on that stop.
We'll have all the scores from the area and around the state on Hoosier Hysteria tonight with Bob Harold after our broadcast, both on WAXT and our sister station, WHBU Anderson.
Looks like the penalty is going to be against Yorktown. It'll be a big penalty for Alexandria, John, and they probably will decline this penalty here.
I think so, because that was probably one of the better defensive plays Alexandria's had all night.
Excellent defensive play, stringing the play out real well and nowhere to run.
Phipps cranking the arm up here in front of us. He's going to do a lot of throwing for Alexandria to get back in it. They're trailing 19-0. And you've got to believe that Yorktown's D is awful pumped up after stopping Ellick on the last possession, with Ellick deep in Yorktown territory.
Alexandria does decline the penalty, John. It'll be 4th down and 7 now. It'll force Yorktown to punt.
Alexandria will have Breeze and Thurston standing at the Yorktown 46-yard line. Back to punt is Riggs. Line of scrimmage for the punt is about the 15. High snap. Riggs gets it. High punt. And it's picked up by Breeze at the 45, and he is nailed. He's hammered. Breeze didn't even hardly have a chance to catch a football, and he really paid the price.
Number 58, Randy Hollis, was down there real quick, John. Like you said, Breeze just took the ball no matter what and paid the price for it. It'll be 1st and 10 now for Alexandria. Excellent field position from the Yorktown 45.
But you know something already, only a sophomore, Todd Breeze, has certainly handed out his lumps on the opponent, his blazing speed. And Todd Breeze, you keep him around a couple more years, and he learns this game of football a little bit better. Only a sophomore now. We know he's got excellent speed. He could be a real fine one for Alexandria. Phipps back to pass. On the reverse, it's handed off to Brett King. King still on his feet. Gets down inside the Yorktown 35 to about the Yorktown 33-yard line. With 10:36 to go, Alexandria picks up a 1st and 10 on a reverse play.
That little reverse play, John, and like we were talking about earlier, I'll tell you what made that play. Number 68, Chad Dyer, picked up that defensive end, also a linebacker, and King had a lot of running room. 1st and 10 now for Alexandria.
You know, I talked to Doug Denny earlier this week, and he made the comment, he says, I don't want to be predictable. I don't want the Alexandria Tigers to be able to predict what I'm doing. So he's definitely done some different things. And one of the things that probably the Tigers knew about coming in tonight was the passing of J.D. Howard to his favorite receiver, Jim Deitch. Alexandria with a running play picks up about 4 or 5 yards. I'm going to say 6, actually, is what he's going to pick up. So the Tigers 2nd and 4. From the 20, boy, it's hard to pick up a line yard marker. It looks like about the 26 of Yorktown. 2nd and 4, Ellick from the 26 of Yorktown. Phipps hands off to Craig Eden. Eden goes forward and is close to a Alexandria 1st and 10.
John Eden, not a real big kid, but a very strong runner, brought down by number 64, John Pumphrey. We see him time after time running right up that middle and picking up some good yardage, and I believe they're going to call an official's timeout to measure this one, John.
And with that, we'll take a time in, and we'll hear from one of our fine sponsors.
Now's the time. AC Auto Light and Champion Spark Plugs. Stop by at 220 North Canal Street in Alexandria. Fleener's Auto Parts, your bumper-to-bumper parts people in Alexandria.
Phipps dropping back to pass for Ellick. He's got Breeze in the end zone. Breeze catches a football, but he was out of bounds. He just didn't know where he was at when he caught the football. But once again, you got to like this sophomore Breeze. He's got excellent speed, and with each passing week, he's learning. He's learning and getting better.
Well, John Breeze just outran his defenders, which isn't hard to believe after the speed we've seen him have, and he was open, like you said, just not quite enough room in that end zone. An incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd and 10 now for Alexandria.
I bet he runs track, doesn't he?
I'll bet the track coach is praying that he does.
That's Fred.
He'll probably run track then.
9 minutes, 23 seconds to play in the ball game. It's been all Yorktown so far. Alexandria 2nd and 10 from the Yorktown 23. And Phipps hands off. Not much running room there.
Little trap play, and didn't materialize for him, John. King, the ball carrier, picks up about 2 yards on that.
Well, with 9 minutes, a little bit over 9 minutes left in the game, the only way you're going to get back in this one in a hurry is to go to the air, not to the ground, if you've got a hope of getting back in it. Clock continues to run after that running play. 3rd and 8. Facing the Alexandria Tigers from about the 21-yard line of Yorktown. It's 19-0 Yorktown Tigers. From the I formation, it's Eden and King behind the quarterback Phipps. Phipps dropping back in the pocket to pass. Looks over to far sidelines. It's caught by Breeze, but he ends up losing yardage by catching that football.
John, a little quick out pass they were trying there, but like you said, he went back a little too far and loses about 3 yards on that.
I don't think Breeze knew where he was at that time. He caught the ball. He should have just let the ball fall. 4th and 12. If you're Alec, you might as well just air it out, Jim. Might as well throw it in the end zone and see what happens.
We got nothing to lose here, John.
Nothing
Got to get back into this ball game, and Yorktown wouldn't be taking over in that good a field position.
They
from
got
the 25.
Yeah, 75 yards to go. So just throw it in the end zone and see what happens. 8 minutes, 36 seconds to play in the ball game. Alexandria from the shotgun formation. I think that's what they're going to do. Alec's going to have to watch. They're shooting the linebacker. Here comes Lotz. And Phipps going to the end zone. There's Brandon Allen, and it's overthrown. Incomplete. Phipps to Allen. Yorktown takes it back over as they stop the Alexandria Tigers once again.
Number 25, Steve Dowfoot's done an excellent job on defense tonight, John. He got a hand up in Brandon Allen's way, made him turn around a little bit so he couldn't get a real good look at the ball. Incomplete pass. Yorktown takes over 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line.
And our next timeout opportunity, we'll switch to Jim King at Elwood for Elwood Muncie North on an update, so stand by, Jim King. 8 minutes, 29 seconds to play in this one. In the 4th quarter from Alexandria, it's been Yorktown all the way this evening. They lead it 19-0. Yorktown from the full house backfield, dropping back to pass. New quarterback in there. It's incomplete to Brian Seifert. And they're going to say defensive pass interference, it looks like, against the Alexandria Tigers, as Seifert didn't have a prayer catching that football anyway. Rick Runyon, a new quarterback in for the Yorktown Tigers.
I believe number 21, Tom Courtney, John, was coming across the field as one that's going to be called on, and he just got kind of tied up in their feet, and that's going to be the call. Defensive pass interference. It'll give Yorktown a 1st down, and that's something Alexandria didn't need.
Well, as we noted at the top, there'll be one Tiger winner and one Tiger loser tonight. And right now, the green and white Tigers of Yorktown are in the driver's seat.
Gives Yorktown 1st and 10. Ball is at the
Not a whole lot of offense in this second half, really, John. Yorktown just came out, I think, with the idea saying, let's get a couple drives together. Our defense is strong. We can hold Alexandria, and we haven't seen any scoring in this second half whatsoever.
Well, you know, Yorktown holds on and wins. They host the sectional championship, Class AAA sectional number 20 next week. No matter who wins over at Elwood. Here's Runyon back to pass under pressure, lets it go. It's complete to Riggs, and he's knocked out of bounds at his own 45. He needed to go near the 50 for a 1st and 10.
Well, we do have a flag down on the field too, John, in the backfield.
Maybe a hold. I couldn't tell. Right in the middle, as Runyon just was feeling all kinds of pressure when he let that football go.
Sure was. Not a real big kid, Runyon's not, John, and I think he's having a tough time seeing over some of those offensive and defensive linemen.
Not only that, they got his jersey tied in the back, and it's hard to read his number. How big is Runyon?
He's 5'6", 160 pounds, John, and you get some of those big boys up front like Yorktown and Alexandria's got, he's going to have a tough time seeing down that field.
What gives out here?
It looks like it's going to be, the call is going to be against Yorktown.
Holding.
You're right, John. You called that one.
Yorktown.
That's just process of elimination, Jim.
It'll be 1st down and 25 now for Yorktown.
25 yards.
1st and long for the Yorktown Tigers. Are pushed way back at their 21 or 22-yard line. Looks like 22-yard line from our vantage point. And once again, they've got the underclassman quarterback, 5'6", 160-pound Rick Runyon in there. Mitchell in motion to flanker to the right side of the field, far side. On the draw play, the handoff for Yorktown is going to pick up some decent yardage. On the delayed draw, the handoff for Yorktown goes to G.A. Hudson. Hudson, the ball carrier, and he picks up about 12. G.A. Hudson, 12-yard pickup.
Now for a 1st down in most instances, John, but they had a 1st down and 25, so now they got a 2nd down and 15 now.
Indiana University, Big Red football tomorrow on AXT, Indiana Country, 12:05. The Hoosiers at Iowa. We've got it for you. 7:30 and the clock running down in the ball game. Here come the Yorktown Tigers dropping back to pass is Runyon. He throws it a little bit low, and on the bounce, I think it was complete, but we don't count the bounces. And Yorktown will face a 3rd and long once again.
3rd and 17 for Yorktown, like you said. Runyon just a little short on the, and they catch it on the one hop. A good defensive play if you're a baseball infielder, John, but shortstop not playing in this ball game, so 3rd and 17.
7:22 in the ball game. Yorktown on top 19-0 over Alexandria. Here from Alexandria this evening. For the pro set formation, here are the Yorktown Tigers with a reserve quarterback in Runyon. And on the reverse, they flip it to Mitchell. Flanker reverse. Mitchell 35-40. 45 out of bounds at his own 47. He's going to end up shy of a 1st and 10 by about 3 yards. Credit Derek Thurston for the Alexandria Tigers stopping Yorktown. And you keep pointing yellow flag?
Yes, we do, John. We have a yellow flag down on the field, so the run might be nullified. Looks like they're going to be talking to the Alexandria defensive captains here. At least that's the initial indication. And we have a holding call against Yorktown, John. So there's 2 big holding calls against Yorktown.
Well, for one of these 2 teams right now, it looks like Yorktown, they'll be going on. And for the other one, basketball season. The football players going out for basketball. And for Yorktown, from the pro set, it'll be the Yorktown Tigers. Looks like Runyon's still in there at quarterback. The junior in motion is Stevens, a kicker now in the ball game as a flanker. Here's a pass out in the flat, complete. And there's a fumble. Looks like Alexandria might recover it. Fumbling the football for Yorktown is Chad Winkle. Winkle fumbled it. Tigers recover it, and Alexandria gets the football back with 7:05 to play in the game.
And I believe number 82, Brett Yagi, recovered that fumble for Alexandria. So 7:05, they got excellent field position from about the 29-yard line. John, Alexandria get one in the end zone here.
Well, like I said so many times before, the Tigers have been deep in Yorktown territory, but Yorktown has turned them back, either by their defense or by a Tiger turnover once. Clock's inside, 7 minutes to go in the ball game. Phipps from the shotgun looks downfield. Now he says, I'm going to keep the football. Phipps has still got it. He is able to get back to only a yard loss for the Alexandria Tigers, about a yard loss.
A lot of the Yorktown defenders over there, John. Number 46, Brett Lotz is out there, and also number 22, Nick Mitchell. So it'll be a 2nd down and about 11 now for Alexandria.
Well, you got nothing to lose here. Just air it out. Put it up, Jim. Down 19-0, and that's looks like what the Tigers are going to do as they work once again from the shotgun formation. Phipps going to throw the football downfield. It was going from Moorhead, and Moorhead just stopped right in the middle of running down the field, and the pass was probably where Moorhead should have been, but I don't know. I think maybe a miscommunication there on what kind of pattern he was going to run.
Well, John, number 24, Jay Winkle, the defender on that play, got Moorhead kind of tangled up. They ran into each other, and like you said, Phipps threw the ball where it was supposed to be, but Moorhead just wasn't there. 3rd down and 11 now for Alexandria.
6 minutes, 19 seconds to play in a ball game. Yorktown 19, Alexandria nothing. Phipps once again on a 3rd and 11 will go from the shotgun formation. And Breeze. Oh, Breeze wide open. And now they've got a guy deep down there, and I think we're going to get a yellow flag as Breeze was tripped right at the goal line. Well, Breeze outran, excuse me, the defensive linebacker of Yorktown, and then he met up with a safety back deep. It looked like Dalfett was the man that interfered with Breeze at the goal line.
You're all right, John. It was Dalfett. Just got kind of tangled up, and John, I don't think there's very many linebackers around this area that can cover Todd Breeze, not those inside linebackers like they were trying to do with one of them there.
Well, it looked like Dalfett was in prevent defense. I mean, he was standing way back in the outfield, if you want to look at it that way, and he just waited for Breeze to run up to him.
I'll tell you, if I was a defensive back and I saw Todd Breeze splitting out there, I think I'd give myself about a 15-yard cushion on that young gentleman because he's just that fast.
1st and 10 Alexandria after the defensive pass interference from the Yorktown 15-yard line. Alex been this close before but hasn't scored. Once again, shotgun formation for Alexandria. Phipps rolling to the pocket, looking across the middle, and his pass is incomplete, intended down there for Brandon Allen. And with the incomplete pass, it stops the clock.
Some good defense back there. Like you said, basically Yorktown's way back deep in that prevent defense like they like to call it in the pros. But number 47, Jim Small, got a hand up in the way of Brandon Allen. An incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10 now for Alexandria.
I'd like to thank a couple of our fine sponsors for tonight's broadcast. Neil Johnson Insurance Agency, F. Neil Johnson. And your Auto Owners Connection also. Neil Johnson Insurance Agency at 121 West Church, and also Marcellus Place, State Road 28 West. Timeout Alexandria is signaled for, and why don't we just take a time in for one of our fine sponsors, and we'll be back after this message. Definitely think that was the Beverly Hillbillies they slipped in on us.
But the hospitality's been great here at Alexandria High School, John.
All year long. 6:08 to play in a game. Phipps from the shotgun, 2nd and 10, under pressure, and someone's got him. And Yorktown's going to bring him down for a big loss. That someone is Marty Wooten.
Big number 70, Marty Wooten back there, and sacks Phipps for a big loss on that play, John. So right now, Alexandria not doing too much. He's 5'10", 230 pounds, and a junior. Big kid, John.
Well, Phipps just stayed right in that pocket. And at 5'10", 230-pound Marty Wooten was able to grab his jersey and bring him to the ground. 3rd, and we'll call it a long 18 for Alexandria. It's been a long night for the Tigers of Alec as Yorktown leads at 19-0. Clock's in motion, 5:20 to play in a ball game. And once again, Alexandria from the shotgun formation. Looking downfield is Phipps. It's intercepted by Yorktown. It's Dalfett. Dalfett returning the football all the way up to the Yorktown, we'll call it 30-yard line. He intercepted on the 21. 9-yard pass interception return for Dalfett.
He's brought down out there by Clarence Burr, John. We got a couple players down on the field. We have a Yorktown player down. I believe it's number 21. I'm not sure.
That's Jason York, and looked like Chad Dyer went down pretty hard for Alexandria.
John, there's been some hard hitting out there on the field tonight by both these ball clubs, and it's been an excellent football.
Playoffs between Elwood and Yorktown. That's the way it looks for the championship next week, as Elwood is blowing out Muncie North 33-0 in the 4th quarter. And here it's Yorktown holding on to a convincing 19-0 lead over Ellick with 5:04 to go in the ball game.
Yorktown takes over, 1st and 10 now.
Clock's in motion, 1st and 10 Yorktown from their own 25. And the handoff goes to Hudson. Hudson, the ball carrier, picks up 12 yards. 12-yard pickup for Hudson.
Clarence Burr was blitzing on that play, John, and they just ran off tackle and ran right away from Clarence Burr, left him with only one linebacker in there, and G.A. Hudson right up the middle picks up 12 yards, 1st and 10 now for Yorktown. They're hoping just to run out this clock and go home with another victory and advance to the 3rd round of the sectionals.
4 minutes and 39 seconds to play here in the ball game. Yorktown 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line. And it's Runyon, underclassman at quarterback, handing off to Riggs. Riggs, the ball carrier, up very close to near midfield.
Number 51, Greg Clark, in there on that tackle, John, and he picks up about 7 yards on that carry. Riggs does. It'll be 2nd down and 3 now.
Stop for Alexandria. 2nd down.
Bob Harold, Hoosier Hysteria after the ball game. Jim, he'll have all the local sectional playoff scores and also sectional sites from around the state. 724-7716, the local Ellick line. Muncie line 286-8684. 2nd and 3, Yorktown. Handoff goes to Riggs. He's got the 1st and 10. He only needed 3. He picks up 5, and Yorktown has got the ball 1st and 10 now at Alexandria's 45-yard line.
Right now, Yorktown just going right up the middle, John, like we saw him do in the 2nd quarter, just running basically at will, and Riggs and Hudson, and of course Doug Denny's content to just let him pick up 4 or 5 yards at a crack and run this clock out.
Well, Yorktown with just about total substitutions in the lineup now, except for their 2 running backs, as Mojette goes to the sidelines, or starting offensive left tackle. Also, Beard went over there and sat down. New replacement in for him. Here's a handoff by Runyon to Hudson. Hudson picks up a couple. The Tigers do a good job of not letting him get any more.
Number 72, Jason reeling in there. Also number 51, Greg Clark, and 62, Clarence Burr. And John, Alexandria tonight, the one bright spot, their two linebackers have done an excellent job, as always. Burr and Clark, a couple hard hitters, and they're quality ball players.
No doubt about it. Burr's gone after this year. Clark's got one more year. Of course, Clark was shaken up earlier in the ball game. He's back in there. 2 minutes, 48 seconds to play in our contest tonight here at Alexandria. From the I formation, it'll be Runyon. Runyon, a 5'6", 160-pound junior, hands off. And the carry for the Yorktown Tigers is Riggs. Riggs, the ball carrier, down to about the 42-yard line of Alec.
Host of tacklers in there again. Once again, John Burr was in there. Clark was in there reeling. It'll be third down and about 6 now for Yorktown.
2 minutes, 14 seconds of playing a ball game. Pretty much all that remains here is the final score. Yorktown going to work it from the I formation with Riggs and Hudson. Here's Runyon, the quarterback, dropping back to pass. Under pressure, sets up a screen to Riggs on the right side of the field. Riggs picks up a Yorktown Tiger 1st and 10. He needed 6, he got about 7.
Nice little screen out to the short side of the field, John. Enough to pick up the first down, picked up about 7, so it'll be 1st and 10 now for Yorktown with 1:49 to go in this ball game.
Well, we'll have recaps from both Hagerstown and Elwood when we bring it back to recap this game. Don Lynch from Hagerstown and Jim King from Elwood. 1:35 remaining in the contest. Here is Runyon handing off and carrying the football for the Yorktown Tigers is Jeff Federspiel.
carrying for Yorktown that time.
Federspiel.
Picks up about 2
Why did
yards
they do
on
that
that,
to
John.
us?
I don't
Why?
know. But, well, it's not as bad as doing the Russian ball game.
I think that's got to be the highlight of both our careers, broadcasting the Soviet junior national team against the AAU 19 and under team. I mean, that had to be the epitome of language difficulties. 55 seconds to play in a ball game. Dropping back to pass and now handing off to Matt Riggs. He reverses the field. He's going to run about 40 yards and pick up 2. Yellow flag out on the field.
I believe we might have a holding call out there, John, the way it looked, as one of the Yorktown players kind of rode one of the Alexandria defenders down to the ground there.
Well, we got 45 ticks left in this ball game on the clock. Alexandria running in another substitution. Freshman Troy Cook coming in to play a nose guard.
Fred Avant wants to take a look at some of these younger ball players. They're going to be back next year, and like you talked about, John, a pretty good nucleus coming back, especially in the backfield. Got a couple, got a sophomore quarterback, Mark Hans, who's looked good in the last couple games. Also Todd Breeze and a couple others that are looking real good.
I think what you do is you put Hans at a quarterback and you maybe move Phipps to a wide receiver next year. I mean, as big as that kid is, he's quite a target to throw at.
You might even look at him as a tight end, John.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, a quick tight end, pop him across the middle. You got Brandon Allen coming from the other side, and you got a couple quality receivers. You can put Todd Breeze back in that backfield, or you can split him out, you know, whichever, and then he's going to do a job for you. So backfield looking real good next year for Alexandria.
Alexandria is going to end the season with 4 wins and 6 losses, but they've got a lot of youth to look forward to next year coming back. 33 seconds, couple more plays in the game. Runyon going to air one out. He puts it up in the air, Thurston downfield, and he drops it. Thurston had a chance for the interception. That would have just been like a punt if Thurston caught it.
Number 47, Jim Small, doing an excellent defensive job there, John. He was supposed to be the offensive man, but broke the play up and kept Thurston from intercepting that ball with 26 seconds to go.
Once again, don't forget IU tomorrow afternoon, 12:05, Indiana at Iowa, trying to keep that Big Ten unbeaten record alive.
Believe it or not, John, IU's a 7-point underdog going out to play Hayden Fry and the boys.
McKinnick Stadium's no easy place to play. And just ask former Boilermaker head coach who thought he had a victory last year, Leon Burnett.
Number 36, Jeff Peterspill running the ball once again, a pickup of about 1 yard on that play, John.
Well, one more play possibly, and this game is history. Yorktown will be hosting the Elwood Panthers next week, and we'll be at Yorktown to bring you that ball game at 7:05 next Friday night. Got a timeout on the field. Let's take a time in for one of our fine sponsors.
That's Pizza at 115 West Church Street in downtown Alexandria invites everyone to stop in and try their fabulous peanut pizza made with only the freshest, delicious, mouth-watering sandwiches and a fresh salad bar. Also, watch for their great roasted chicken. Call Peanuts Pizza today and make an order at 724-7714. That's Peanut Pizza.
Could be the last play of the game. Runyon takes a snap, and he's sacked for a loss by Greg Clark. Good defensive play there by Clark. 10, 9, 8. Both teams are going to exchange handshakes. 4, 3, and the officials call timeout with 3 seconds to go. 3 seconds remaining in the ball game. Jim, why don't you just head on down and see if you can get Doug Denny, and I'll wrap up the final 3 seconds along with Fred if you'd like to come up and talk with us. 3 seconds remaining in our ball game tonight here from Alexandria. Yorktown scoring all their points in the first half, and it was a 0-0 tie in the second half, but Yorktown, an impressive first half. They strike for 2 of their 3 touchdowns via the air route. It went from J.D. Howard to Jim Deitch's place, where you can check out some of their lawn ornaments, and they just got an endless variety, painted and unpainted, and it really brightened up the landscape. Take a look at it, Marcella's place. 7, what do we got here? They're running it back to 9 seconds on the clock instead of 3. So we'll have time for one more Alexandria offensive play. They run the clock back to 9 seconds. 1st and 10 Alexandria from their own 49-yard line with 9 seconds to play in the game. It'll be Phipps in. Here come the Alexandria Tigers. Get the play off. Phipps drops back to pass. He's scrambling for his life. Phipps is going to keep the football and run with it. And Phipps still on his feet, and he's tackled at the 29-yard line of Yorktown as the clock runs out. That is the ball game. The Yorktown Tigers have defeated the Alexandria Tigers 19-0, and Yorktown advances to host sectional number 20 Class AAA Championship next week at Yorktown. And no doubt